Picture this: a bombshell claim that could fracture the fragile balance between love, fame, and loyalty. Whispers are spreading fast that Hailey Bieber is threatening to release private videos of Justin Bieber with Selena Gomez. For years, fans have obsessed over this tangled triangle, but this accusation feels like gasoline on a fire that never really went out. If true, it wouldn't just reopen old wounds. It would drag Selena back into chaos she's tried to escape, destabilize Justin's already delicate image, and shatter Hailey's carefully curated reputation. It all began when fans spotted Hailey's supposed activity online. Screenshots circulated suggesting she had liked a TikTok mocking Selena Gomez and her fiancé, Benny Blanco. The second those images hit fan pages, chaos erupted. Hailey's camp rushed to deny it, calling the whole thing fabricated. But by then, the damage was done. Once the idea took root, fans didn't let go. And then came the bigger, darker claim that Hailey has private videos of Justin and Selena and could use them as leverage. Think about the weight of that. These wouldn't be harmless clips. They'd be intimate snapshots from one of the most publicized romances in pop culture history. Justin and Selena's relationship was already dissected under a microscope, but video proof? That would immortalize it forever. For Justin, who has spent years rebuilding himself, it would be devastating. For Hailey, it could backfire catastrophically, painting her as manipulative. And for Selena, it would mean being unwillingly dragged back into a spotlight she never asked for. The internet immediately split into camps. Some insist this is nothing but a stunt, another controversy designed to stir headlines. Others are convinced it's personal, pointing to Hailey's long history of being accused of copying Selena's style, following her trends, and allegedly shading her online. And then there's a quieter group begging for peace, saying Selena shouldn't be forced into this cycle again, and Hailey shouldn't be vilified without proof. But the feud between their fanbases is so ingrained that every rumor feels like fresh fuel for a never-ending fire. The stakes couldn't be higher. If such videos ever surfaced, Justin's reputation could crumble overnight. Brands and sponsors don't forgive easily. Hailey's entire brand, Rhode, depends on her image as relatable and likable. If she's seen as someone willing to weaponize another woman's past, that could destroy her credibility. And Selena, despite being the victim here, would still face global scrutiny, her private moments dissected in the harshest way possible. This wouldn't just be gossip. It would be a lose-lose situation for everyone. Fans haven't held back either. If Hailey really has those videos, she's finished. No brand will work with her. Selena deserves better than being dragged into Justin's marriage. Justin chose chaos. He should have seen this coming. Comments like these are flooding social platforms, showing just how volatile this moment is. Some still argue it's all made up, but here's the thing. Even if it isn't true, the fact that people believe it shows how fragile reputations in Hollywood really are. And then there's the legal angle. If private content like this exists, it's protected. Sharing it without consent could lead to lawsuits, restraining orders, even criminal charges. That's not just drama, that's career-ending. Justin's team would go nuclear to protect him. Selena's camp would fight to shield her peace. And Hailey? She'd risk not just her brand, but her freedom. The media, of course, is having a field day. Every gossip outlet, every fan page, every entertainment site is dissecting this from every angle. Memes are circulating, think pieces are flooding in, and videos are racking up millions of views. Whether true or not, the narrative has already taken on a life of its own. And sometimes in the world of celebrity, perception becomes reality. Behind the scenes, whispers say Justin is rattled. He's fought hard to focus on his health and his marriage, but scandals like this are impossible to ignore. Fans are already asking the brutal questions. Why would Hailey even have something like this in her possession? Was it leverage? Was it obsession? Or is this simply a dangerous rumor spiraling out of control? For Hailey, the stakes are terrifying. She's not just a wife. She's a businesswoman, the face of campaigns, the founder of a beauty brand. If fans see her as crossing a line this personal, the backlash could poison everything she's built. And for Selena, it's yet another cruel reminder that no matter how far she goes, she'll always be pulled back into Justin's shadow. This story has become bigger than the people at the center of it. It's about trust, privacy, and how fragile fame can be. Fans are driving the narrative now, not the celebrities. And every silence, every denial, every cryptic post only adds more fuel. Right now, we're standing on the edge of something explosive. If these claims are true, the fallout could redefine Justin's marriage, Hailey's brand, and Selena's peace of mind. If they're false, the stain of the rumor still lingers. Either way, the world is watching. And in Hollywood, nothing stays hidden forever. What makes this story even more dangerous is how quickly it spirals beyond the original claim. What began as whispers about a single like on TikTok has snowballed into full-blown conspiracy theories. Fan accounts are digging into Hailey's digital history, pulling up years of screenshots, cross-checking timelines, and suggesting that she's been collecting ammunition on Justin and Selena all along. Some of the wildest threads argue that if private videos really exist, Hailey may have inherited them through old devices, cloud accounts, or even from being in Justin's inner circle long before their marriage. Whether these theories hold any truth doesn't even matter anymore, because in the court of public opinion, speculation spreads faster than facts, and the ripple effect is enormous. Hollywood insiders are now weighing in, with some saying this drama exposes the darker side of celebrity marriages, where love, image, and control blur together. PR experts are warning that if Hailey doesn't address this story soon, she risks letting the narrative define her before she has a chance to defend herself. For Justin, the silence is equally risky. Every day without a statement makes him look more like someone hiding something, even if there's nothing to hide. And Selena? She's once again cast as the unwilling centerpiece of a love triangle she never asked to rejoin, with fans fiercely protective of her mental health. The truth may be buried under layers of rumors and receipts, but one thing is undeniable. This scandal has already left a mark. Whether or not the videos exist, the belief that they could exist is powerful enough to reshape how millions view Justin, Hailey, and Selena. In the world of fame, sometimes it's not the evidence that matters most. It's the perception. If this rumor escalates, the consequences won't just play out on Twitter threads and TikTok edits, they'll move into the courtroom. Lawyers on all sides are likely already watching closely. If Hailey truly hinted at having private videos of Justin and Selena, even as a threat, that alone could trigger serious legal action. Sharing or even possessing such material without consent isn't just messy gossip. It falls under invasion of privacy and, in some jurisdictions, could even be classified as a crime. That means lawsuits, injunctions, and potentially millions in damages if proven true. Selena's team in particular would have every reason to react aggressively. For years, she's been open about how public scrutiny affects her mental health. If her private past was weaponized in this way, her lawyers would fight to shut it down immediately. Justin's camp, meanwhile, would be in crisis mode, protecting his reputation while also addressing what this says about his marriage. And for Hailey, the risk couldn't be higher. Beyond personal fallout, she has business empires tied to her name. Brands and investors don't want to be associated with someone who might cross legal and moral boundaries. The potential loss of credibility could devastate everything she's built with Rhode. Meanwhile, the media is circling like sharks. Gossip outlets thrive on this kind of explosive drama, and the Bieber-Gomez-Hailey triangle is internet gold. Every headline, every podcast breakdown, every YouTube theory adds more fuel to the fire. Even mainstream outlets that usually stay away from celebrity feuds are covering it, because the stakes feel bigger than just personal drama. It's about privacy, betrayal, and the high price of fame. And the most dangerous part? The silence. None of the three have directly addressed the newest wave of rumors, which only leaves space for speculation to spiral. In a world where perception is reality, the longer they stay quiet, the louder the noise becomes. The potential fallout from these whispers isn't just gossip. It could reshape the future for all three of them. For Justin, the stakes couldn't be higher. His marriage with Hailey has already been plagued by speculation, comparisons to Selena, and public tension. If fans believe that Hailey is weaponizing his past with Selena, the trust between them could fracture beyond repair. Imagine being married and knowing your spouse might be sitting on private footage of your life with an ex. That kind of suspicion plants seeds of doubt that grow fast. Even if the rumors are false, the damage to their dynamic could already be done. Hailey's brand is also on the line. Rhode has become one of the hottest names in beauty, with celebrity endorsements and millions in revenue. But no brand wants to be associated with manipulation or harassment. If the public narrative shifts towards seeing her as vengeful, jealous, or toxic, investors and partners might distance themselves. In the world of beauty and lifestyle marketing, reputation is everything. And once consumers think you're fake or malicious, sales start slipping. For Selena, the risk is different but equally exhausting. She's carefully built a career on resilience and authenticity, from rare beauty to her acting projects. Being dragged back into Justin's orbit, especially in such a humiliating way, could overshadow her work once again. Fans would rally behind her, but at the cost of reopening old wounds she spent years trying to heal. Instead of headlines about her music or her engagement with Benny Blanco, she'd be stuck reliving a love story she's long left behind. On top of all this, there's the bigger issue: credibility. Once the rumor mill starts spinning, it doesn't matter whether the claims are true. Perception becomes reality. Justin risks looking weak, Hailey risks looking malicious, and Selena risks looking like she's forever trapped in someone else's narrative. The trifecta of image damage is brutal in the entertainment world, and it only takes one wrong move for the speculation to harden into fact in the public's mind. If these whispers keep growing, the next battlefield won't just be social media, it'll be the courtroom and the PR boardroom. Because if there really are private videos in play, that crosses into dangerous legal territory. Leaking, or even threatening to leak such footage without consent, isn't just petty celebrity drama. It's a violation that could trigger lawsuits, restraining orders, and even criminal charges. Selena's team in particular would have every reason to fight back hard, not only to protect her privacy, but also to set a precedent that she won't be exploited. Behind the scenes, you can bet crisis managers are already scrambling. These are the professionals hired to spin chaos into something survivable. For Justin, the strategy might be silence, letting the storm burn itself out without adding fuel. For Hailey, the debate could be trickier. Does she issue a strong denial, knowing critics will call her defensive? Or does she ignore it completely, hoping the gossip cycle moves on? Neither choice guarantees safety, but in PR, timing is everything. Selena's advisors, on the other hand, likely see this as a lose-lose situation. If she speaks, the story explodes even bigger. If she stays silent, people will read her silence as proof. The safest move for her may be to double down on her work, staying visible but detached, posting about rare beauty, new projects, and personal milestones that drown out the noise without giving it oxygen. And here's the ironic twist: every player benefits and suffers at the same time. For gossip outlets, it's gold. For fan armies, it's ammunition. But for the actual people at the center, the stakes are reputation, relationships, and emotional well-being. One wrong word in an interview, one badly timed Instagram story, and the rumor shifts from speculation to confirmed truth in the public eye. What makes this storm different from scandals of the past is how fan culture has evolved into a full-blown economy. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit don't just report drama, they amplify it, monetize it, and feed it back to millions in real time. A single rumor, like Hailey allegedly threatening to release old videos, doesn't stay on one fan page. It gets turned into TikTok explainers, Twitter threads, YouTube breakdowns, and even podcasts dissecting every detail. Each spin racks up views, comments, and ad dollars. In this cycle, Selena and Hailey aren't just people, they're characters in an endless saga. Their fans act like armies, collecting receipts, building timelines, and pushing narratives as if it's a chess match. Every accidental, like every cryptic lyric, every blurry paparazzi photo is dissected and rebranded as proof. And because the algorithm rewards outrage, the most extreme takes rise to the top, keeping the feud alive even when both women stay silent. What gets lost in all this is the human toll. For Selena, every flare-up risks undoing years of progress in her personal life and mental health. For Hailey, her career and brand are directly tied to how authentic and likable she seems. For Justin, silence makes him look detached, but speaking makes him vulnerable. Meanwhile, the media wins either way, churning out headlines that feed the machine. At this point, the feud isn't just personal, it's cultural currency. Fans are no longer just spectators. They're active participants, shaping the story with every post, comment, and theory. And as long as the clicks keep coming, the cycle shows no sign of slowing down. If the rumors about these private videos ever turned into reality, the fallout would be catastrophic. We're not talking about a small tabloid scandal that fades in a few weeks. This would be the kind of leak that rewrites careers, reputations, and relationships overnight. For Justin, the damage would be twofold. Professionally, his carefully rebuilt image as a husband, artist, and survivor of fame's darkest sides would collapse. Sponsors, streaming partners, and collaborators don't want to be tied to scandal of this magnitude. Personally, it would mean facing a past he's worked years to move beyond, forced back into the most controversial chapter of his life with Selena. That kind of exposure doesn't just hurt. It reopens wounds that were never fully healed. For Hailey, the risk is even higher. If she's linked in any way to releasing or threatening to release private material, the backlash would be brutal. Fans and brands alike see that as crossing an unforgivable line. Her Rhode skincare empire could crumble overnight, her modeling contracts could evaporate, and her name would be cemented not as a businesswoman, but as a villain in one of Hollywood's ugliest dramas. Even whispers of this kind of behavior can permanently poison a public image. And then there's Selena, who stands to suffer the most unfairly. Even as the victim, her privacy would be shattered, her most personal moments turned into public entertainment. Instead of focusing on her music, her acting, and her rare beauty brand, she would be dragged back into the same painful cycle she's tried so hard to escape. For her, the thought of being exposed again, without her consent, wouldn't just be humiliating, it would be traumatic. The world has seen how these kinds of scandals play out. Once private footage goes public, it can never be erased. It circulates endlessly, becomes a permanent part of someone's narrative, and no amount of PR can undo it. That's why this rumor feels so explosive. Even if it's not true, the idea of it has already planted seeds of doubt. And those are nearly impossible to uproot once they've taken hold. So here we are, at the edge of a rumor that feels less like gossip and more like a ticking time bomb. Whether these alleged videos exist or not, the very idea has been enough to shake Justin, Hailey, and Selena back into the center of a storm they can't escape. For Justin, it's a threat to his past and present colliding. For Hailey, it's a dangerous gamble that could destroy everything she's built. And for Selena, it's a cruel reminder of how fame makes privacy almost impossible. In Hollywood, secrets are currency. Once whispers like these hit the internet, they take on a life of their own. Maybe this is nothing more than another rumor that fizzles out, or maybe it's the spark that ignites one of the biggest scandals the entertainment world has ever seen. The only certainty? The world is watching, the fans are waiting, and the truth, whatever it is, will eventually come out. So what do you think? Is this just smoke and mirrors, or is something bigger hiding behind the silence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because this story is far from over.